Hello students, in the previous lecture we discussed two of the respiratory disorders. Today we will continue the same topic, but before that let's have a quick review of the disease that we have discussed in the last lesson. Starting with what is a respiratory disease? Any of the diseases and disorders of the airways and the lungs that affect human respiration is called respiratory disease. The two diseases that we discussed in the previous lecture were bronchitis and emphysema. What is bronchitis? Bronchitis is basically the inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles that is caused by any viral or bacterial infection or any other exposure to chemical irritants. Now, what happens in bronchitis? Itis is basically, itis means inflammation. Whenever you will use this word itis in biology, it always means inflammation. So, bronchitis is inflammation of bronchi. So what happens in this when a virus or bacteria or any other exposure to chemical irritant, they enters the bronchi or bronchioles, they cause excessive secretion of the mucus. And due to this excessive secretion of the mucus in the tubes, it leads to the swelling and inflammation of that tubular wall and narrowing of the tubes, which cause the blockage for the pathway of the air. So hence the patient suffers from shortness of breath and cough, and they're not able to breathe properly because the air is not able to move properly in the tubes. Next is emphysema. Emphysema is the destruction of the walls of alveoli. Alveoli is the basic surface from where the exchange of gases takes place uh, between oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now, the causative agent for emphysema is again the chemical irritants like smoke or tobacco. And what happens in this is that the smoke, tobacco, or any other such exposure to such irritants, they are going to damage the wall of the alveoli. What happens? The surface area of the alveoli is going to be compromised. How? Because alveoli is a very has a very thin surface on top, so that exchange of gases can be easy, uh, can occur easily. But when the walls of the alveoli are disrupted or damaged, what happens? They become thickened because of the mucus secretion over there, and as a result, the exchange of gases becomes difficult. Now, today we are going to discuss two more diseases which are more common but more complicated than the other two. This is pneumonia and asthma. What is pneumonia? Pneumonia is an infection in the lungs. If the infection is in one lung, you call it pneumonia. But if it is in both the lungs, you will call it double pneumonia. What is the causative agent that causes pneumonia? Pneumonia is basically a bacterial infection. So it is caused by bacteria. The name of that bacteria that causes pneumonia is Streptococcus pneumoniae. And basically, this disease is named after this bacteria because the causative agent is this bacteria. But this is not the only cause of pneumonia. There could be other causes for this disease. For example, if the person is suffering from a viral infection or a fungal infection, that person is also uh, exposed, can also be exposed, or is more prone to have the pneumonia infection. Why? Because their lungs are already compromised as their immune system is already weaker because they are already attacked by a virus or a fungal infection. So hence, when the bacteria will attack the lungs, so it is going to be more complicated. It is going to worsen and become more complicated and hence result in pneumonia. Now, what is the pathology? Pathology means that what is the causative agent and the disease is doing inside the body. You know, whatever is occurring in the body due to that causative agent. We are going to discuss the pathology, symptoms, and treatments of this pneumonia through the video. Let me show you the video. Okay. Now here you can see there are two kinds of alveoli are present here. This is the normal alveoli when a person has no disease, and this is the alveoli of a patient with pneumonia. Now what happens when the bacteria enters the alveoli? This is the normal alveoli, so there is nothing happening here. But here, when the bacteria enters the alveoli, it settles inside the alveoli sac. This is the whole alveolar sac, and this is single alveoli. It settles inside the alveoli and starts replicating. Replicating means dividing. It's increasing in number. When the bacteria will start increasing in number inside the alveoli, obviously it's going to disrupt the tissue and the cells of the alveoli of the lungs basically. So it's going to cover more surface area by the more surface area of the lungs will be covered by the bacteria. As a response to this bacterial infection, our body is starts producing mucus. Mucus lining is already there inside the alveoli, but as a result of this bacterial infection, the more mucus is secreted inside the alveoli, and hence that due to the as there's already a bacterial infection there, and then more mucus is secreted, so it results in the yellowish pus. That pus, when accumulated inside the alveoli, blocks the pathway for the exchange of gases. Now here the whole summary is given that what is happening. Pneumonia is basically a lung infection, and if it's present in both, it's called double pneumonia. The causative agent is Streptococcus pneumonia. What happens? It when Streptococcus pneumoniae, it enters the lung, it settles down, and then it grows in number. When it grows in number, it starts to break the lung tissue, the lung tissues and the cells. When it starts breaking the lung tissues, then more mucus is secreted, and hence it is filled with the pus fluid, the yellowish one that you can see in the picture. Now, what happens? These are the other causative agents mentioned here that can also lead to pneumonia. For example, if we are already having a flu or a viral infection, flu is a fungal infection, right? So viral infection or any other infection of the lungs, it can lead to pneumonia because the lungs are already compromised, and when the bacteria attacks, so there are more chances to have more worsen or the complicated version of that. What could be the symptoms? They have the similar symptoms of all the respiratory disorders, that you have got a coughs, shortness of breath, and the wheezing sound, fever, shivering. But the main symptom that differentiates pneumonia from other diseases is the cough with the sputum. Why? Because there is a lot of sputum accumulated inside the alveoli, and these are the alveoli from where the gases are taken out from the alveoli. The gases that move from this path towards the lungs, and hence through the oral cavity and your mouth. So when you cough, this sputum comes out from your mouth. So if a person is coughing with the sputum, there are many chances that you can say that the person is having pneumonia. Plus, if he or she is having other symptoms like flu or high fever, shivering. There's one more symptom that is differentiates pneumonia from other respiratory disorders is the change in skin color. That is, the skin becomes pale or purplish. What is the reason behind this change in color? Actually, what happens when the alveoli is basically surrounded by arteries and veins. The deoxygenated blood from the veins, means the carbon dioxide basically from the veins blood is moved into these alveoli, and it is secured there. And when we breathe in or inhale, that oxygen comes and it accumulates here in the alveoli. Now, after this, the exchange of gases takes place. The oxygen from the alveoli is taken into the arteries, in the red blood cells, and the carbon dioxide from the veins is taken into the alveoli, and that is exhaled from the mouth, that we take out from our body. But if the alveoli is compromised, if the alveoli is not able to have a proper exchange between the gases, what is going to happen? The arteries will not get the proper amount of oxygen required by the body. Hence, that oxygen will not be circulated in your body and other organs. When your skin will not get it, your brain will not get enough oxygen that is required by your body. So it will start having a change in color. That is becoming pale or purplish. Purplish is the sign of lesser oxygen, deoxygenation basically. That's why we have a different color for the arteries and veins, because veins have deoxygenated blood. Okay, so these are the symptoms. Now, what could be done to treat such kind of disease? As it's a bacterial infection, so it could not be treated with the normal painkillers or anything else. It only needs antibiotics or antibacterials. These are the only thing that acts against the bacteria. So the treatment is only your antibiotics. And there's one more thing, that is vaccination. Vaccination is basically done before the occurrence of the disease. After the occurrence of the disease, vaccination has no purpose. Vaccination means to cure someone before, to prevent someone before the disease is occurred. For example, in newly borns, we give them vaccination. Why we give them vaccination? So that they get their, what is vaccination basically? In vaccination, we insert the antibodies. Antibodies means the killed form of that same bacteria that can cause the specific disease. In this case, you will be injected with Streptococcus pneumoniae. The killed or inactive streptococcus pneumonia will be injected in the body of a patient or a baby, not a patient, a normal person. And as a result of that bacteria, killed bacteria, the body is going to recognize that bacteria as an antigen or a foreign body, which is not a part of your body. So the body starts making antibodies against that specific antigen or that agent, and those antibodies are actually acting as a defense mechanism against that bacteria. So hence, if in the later stage, if someone is actually got attacked by this kind of bacteria, the antibodies will already be present in his or her blood, so they can be cured before it gets complicated, before it gets complicated, right? So vaccination is always done as a prevention. And if a person is suffering from a pneumonia, the only treatment is your antibiotics, and it can take from weeks to months to treat. Now, this was all about your pneumonia. Let's go back to our other disease that we were discussing before. That is asthma. What is asthma? Asthma is not exactly an infection or a disease or a bacterial infection or viral or fungal infection. It is basically an allergy. What is allergy? Allergy is caused by any allergen or any foreign agent that is not a part of your body, and to which any thing or any organism, it could be an organism or it could be anything else, against which your body starts responding. Your body does not accept that thing. That allergen could be your dust, smoke, pollen, perfume, or any food item. It could be anything. Some people are allergic from almonds. Like this, it could be in anything. In case of asthma, it is a form of allergy that is caused by dust, smoke, pollen, or perfume. Allergy cannot be treated completely. You can take medications for that to give yourself relief for a limited period of time, but you need to continue it till lifetime. Now, uh, the causes of this asthma, as it is an allergy, the causes are the allergens, and the allergens are dust, smoke, pollen. What is the pathology? Its pathology means what is happening in the body when a patient is suffering from asthma. Basically, there are three things that an allergen, when enters your lungs, it causes three things. First of all, it causes the inflammation of your bronchi. Inflammation, what is inflammation? Inflammation is the redness or the swelling of the walls of the bronchi and the bronchioles. Inflammation is occurred as a response to a foreign body. It is actually the body is telling you that there is some foreign agent that has entered your body and that is not part of your body. So this is the way of the body responding to you. So inflammation is caused, and when inflammation is caused, swelling occurs and the redness occurs. Swelling, say what happens, the size of that bronchi wall or bronchioles wall will increase. As a result, the normal amount of mucus is already secreted through the walls, but when the antigen hits the bronchioles or bronchi walls, more mucus is produced in order to in a way of responding to that allergen. More mucus is secreted by the walls of the bronchi. When more mucus will be secreted, more inflammation will be caused. Hence, the pathway for the movement of the air will be decreased. Third is the narrowing of the airways. Narrowing means the constriction of the airways. And how does it happen? Basically, what happens when the mucus is secreted and a lot of inflammation occurs inside the bronchi and bronchioles, in the walls of them, the muscles of the bronchi and bronchioles, they start constricting, means contracting, means decreasing in size. They start constricting as a result of this antigen and the inflammation. And when they constrict, the pathway is decreased and the pathway becomes narrow, and the air finds it difficult to pass through it. Hence, patient of an asthma feels a symptom of shortness of breath. Now, what are the other symptoms and the treatment? We'll discuss them again in the video. Let me share the screen. Okay, now what is happening in asthma? This is the site of your bronchiole of a normal person who does not have any disease, and this is the bronchiole of a person who is suffering from asthma. What is happening here? see the size of this bronchiole and the size of this bronchiole, it's a bit decreased or constricted. Why? Because when the allergens hit the wall of the bronchi, the inflammation occurs at the wall of the bronchi. It becomes pink, it is swelling occurs, and the inflammation is there, and as a result this white substance is the mucus. It is excreted in a larger amount. It also blocks the pathway, and then the muscles of the bronchi also constrict. When they constrict, they further narrow down the pathway for the air, and the air is unable to pass through the bronchioles or bronchi of the asthmatic patient. Hence the patient feels shortness of breath and they are unable to breathe properly. Now this is again a sum up of asthma. It is basically an allergy, okay, and it happens in the bronchi and bronchioles. What are the causative agents? The dust and the smoke or pollen or perfume. What does it cause? This is the pathology, that bronchi are inflamed by the existence or by the exposure to the allergen. They start inflammation, and the wall of the bronchi starts secreting more mucus by its glands. Okay, when more mucus is secreted, as a lastly, the muscles of these are the muscles of the bronchi walls, they start to contract or constrict. When they constrict, the pathways will become narrow, and hence the air will find it difficult to pass through it. Now, what are the symptoms of the asthma? Main symptom is again the wheezing cough. Why wheezing? Because the main symptom is wheezing cough. Wheezing is basically the sound produced when you are coughing, and this different sound that comes out of your chest. And the reason behind this wheezing is because of the excessive accumulation of the mucus inside the bronchial walls. So when the pathway is blocked, so and you are trying to cough, your pathway, your tubules or the bronchi or bronchioles are not clean, so the air will not pass there. Instead, the sputum will come up towards your mouth, and you are going to spit that out. So it is going to create a wheezing or a shrill sound from your chest. This is the basic symptom that differentiates it from other respiratory orders as well. Then the treatment. What is the treatment? The only treatment for this is, as it's not a infection or a bacterial or viral infection or a disease, cannot be completely treated, as I told you before. So we need something, any chemical that will help this bronchi or bronchiole to expand or to dilate, means to create a pathway for the air to pass easily, so that this pathway that is narrowed by these allergen attack could be relieved. So the only thing that can do this in the form of a medication is the bronchodilator. Dilator means that expands, broncho means that expands the bronchi or bronchioles. So the term used for those medications is bronchodilators. They are given in the form of inhalers, so for the person, so that they can inhale it through their mouth, and it leads to directly to your bronchi and bronchioles. And when that medication leads to the bronchi and bronchioles, it helps the muscles of the bronchi to expand. When they expand, they dilate, there is more space for the air to pass through it, and the person is able to breathe properly. Okay. There's one more thing regarding this asthma, that this asthma attack mostly occurs at the time of at night time. What is the reason behind that? The reason is that when you are lying down on your back, when you are lying down on your back, the pathway which is already blocked in your bronchi and bronchioles is further constricted, because you are not in a standing position. It's further constricted, and hence you feel more difficulty in the breathing. Now this is the picture of asthmatic bronchiole, that what is happening inside. This is the normal bronchus. There's so much space in between for the pathway of air. While in asthmatic bronchiole, this pink thing is showing the swelling and the inflammation. The white portion is again the inflammation, the mucus secreted, and this is the shape is changed. The bronchi shape is constricted here, and it is wider here. So this is all about asthma, the symptoms, the causative agents, and the treatments. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the next lesson. So this is all about it. Thank you very much.